Okay. Fantastic. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pride Brunchathon, a Pride stream event, charity stream event for the month of June, celebrating queer, trans, people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, the BIMPOC community, all that good stuff for the entire month. This is being run by Utopia, presented by myself, RK Wild, and we are raising money for the organization called Black Black and Pink is a prison abolitionist organization dedicated to abolishing the criminal punishment system and liberating LGBTQIA 2S plus people and people living with HIV/AIDS who are affected by that system through advocacy, support, and organizing. So this is a great fundraiser that we're working with, and we're really so excited for it to get going. And also, currently we've raised $69.69, so nice. With that said, let's go around, have our players introduce. Well, before we do that, actually, we are playing Heaven Nor Hell, which is a game by Kiana Shaw, one of the co-curators of the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, which is a gold Any award-winning safety toolkit. Uh, and yeah, it's a really great game. It's all about relationships and like being in love and being immortal, and it's great. That all said, let's go around and introduce ourselves, who we're playing, and yeah, all that good stuff. Who would like to go first? I will call on someone. I will be the teacher and call on someone. Okay, go ahead, Vale.
Hi guys, I'm Vale. I use he and they pronouns, and today I will be playing Cesar, who uses he him pronouns. I imagine Cesar as sort of as the Central American South American legendary Cadejo. So he is a trickster, leads people to their deaths. um, it's their time probably. Um, and he is mask presenting, but a little bit more with some effeminate qualities, and he tends to have dogs follow him around. So like it's just pests, but he doesn't mind most of the time.
All right, who would like to go next? Brew, or is he? Someone, please.
I can go, I guess.
All right.
I'm Rue. I use they or he pronouns, and I'll be playing Duty Ken, who uses any pronouns. Duty Ken is an embodiment of the differential relationship that the dead and the living have with time, and the spirits of your family and ancestors coming through time to give you advice and tell you about things that are important to them and to you. And she presents as a goth high femme. And every time you come across them, you have a weird sense of deja vu.
Okay, guess that means it's my turn. Hi, I'm Izzy. She, they. I'll be playing Mina, short for Olamina. They, she. They are the, let's see, physical manifestation of empathy. My mainly femme presenting, and their sort of lingering trait is, in addition to being just general empath, feeling, sensing what other people are feeling physically and emotionally, they see through other people's eyes. So like check, like if they were ever, on their own, it would be a struggle. But when they're around other people or other spirits beings, they see with other people's see holes or eyes as the no, because I've heard that term before though. So like I don't know why we're all giggling. It's in the dictionary somewhere.
I'm more horrified. but thank you.
That was a horror giggle. Happy Sunday.
They could have been face sphincters instead, you know. It
I
could have
hate
been
that
worse.
too.
See, you're welcome.
With that said, I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm RK Wild. I use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing Dada, who uses they, she pronouns. Dada is the physical manifestation of monsoons and how they are perceived within the cultures of India. Monsoons are very much seen as a representation of passion, of heavy emotions, anger, fury, and also destruction. They have a very dichotomous relationship with the people there, depending on who you ask. And yeah, they present very sort of neutrally. They have darker skin, but they always present. They don't really try and stand out. The one thing that always happens around them is that it's always raining, whether it's a drizzle or it's a full-blown storm, it's always raining. And it's not just localized on them, it's like within several miles there's a storm. So with that all said, we have established our characters and who we're playing, but the thing we did not establish is our relationship to one another. Within the game of Heaven or Hell, you decide what your relationship between your immortals are as you play through their relationship through the eons, from whatever you consider the beginning to the end of where the relationship is. And it doesn't have to be romantic, it doesn't have to be sexual, it can be queer platonic, it can be familial, it can just be like, that's a cool person, I like hanging out with them and I love them. Simple as that. So we're going to figure out what our relationships are. Any thoughts from y'all so far? Like, what are you feeling on like relationships and things here?
I'm really interested to see, RK, what you think the relationship between Mina and Dada would be, just because Mina is an empath. That's what she does, is feel other people's feelings, and Dada is like this sort of spirit of chaos and destruction and anger. And I'm so interested. I have this idea, and when I say I have this idea, I mean I had it 25 seconds ago when you said that. Sort of a Shira Katra sort of thing. Like there's a tension there, but also it's a tension there.
Wink.
Yeah, that was wink.
Yeah, no, I get that. I actually am totally down for that. Less of a we love each other right now, but more of a like we see each other kind of as rivals in a sense. Like we're always trying to one up each other in some way. Maybe that's just the anger from Dada sort of fueling you to be angry, or like something else, and then maybe it'll turn into something else.
I mean, who can even say? I don't even know. It's crazy.
Who even knows?
Rue. So since Cesar and Durican are both sort of like these beings that have to do with death, though in different aspects. That, like Durican is like, this is already dead, and Cesar's like, you're gonna be dead soon. I'm actually not sure how they would feel about each other. Like I feel like Cesar is probably a little bit of a dick at the very least.
I was almost wondering if, like, in a sense, we wanted it to be like either kind of similar to Mina and Dara with like a rivalry thing, or like taking it a bit further and being more of like almost a sibling rivalry of like, that people are going to die and I like am that sort of after space.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I like that sort of like playful antagonism.
Yeah,
of a sibling rivalry versus like a rivalry. Especially because, and you said that like ancestors can send visions sort of back.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe sometimes it's warning of certain doom coming. And then Cesar's like, no, this one's mine. And Dirk is like,
mine. I'm not ready for that yet, though.
That's the race. Race to get there. Claim the soul. All right. So Cesar, between Dada and Cesar, I personally think it would be very interesting to have like a sort of maybe like on again, off again kind of thing.
ooh.
Like, I think that would be very fun to play. What are your thoughts here?
I definitely like that, because I feel like and correct me if I'm wrong, but with the description of like the type of thing that Dara embodies, it feels like there's a seriousness that Cesar might not gel with as much. And so Cesar might be like, this is getting a little bit too heavy. I'll be back in a couple, like maybe in a decade.
It's also just like, in my opinion, it's just like, we're both busy people. We have stuff going on. When we see each other, great. Passion, great. When we're not around each other, we got stuff to do. It's no problem.
I love that. I really like that.
It's more of like an understanding of like, hey, we like each other, we enjoy each other, but sometimes we work together, other times we don't, and that's okay. Anybody else want to throw out some relationships, define them?
So,
we don't have to define all of them if you don't want to. Also, just want to clarify that.
Well, I wanted to ask Izzy, because so you said that Mina sees through other people's eyes, right? And so I feel like Cesar, as someone that embodies like that sort of like black dog legend, sees like sort of like muted colors, sees things differently, and I feel like the times that Mina and Cesar maybe get to spend together, like maybe they have like a at least like a close friendship.
Oh, for sure. Love that. And I think, part of Mina's whole deal is that like they are used to seeing the world in a bunch of different ways, but that uniquely sort of like Cesar is like obviously a different being altogether, but they also see the world in a fundamentally different way, I think is so cool, in a way that we just find fascinating, but also endearing, like worthy of protection. Like I sort of feel like that she's really just like drawn to them, and as like a friendship guardian sort of situation.
I like that.
Yay, friends.
Friends.
What about Turikan and Dara?
I feel like, because there's something like portentous, not pretentious, I always get those words fucked up, but like portentous about both of us, like the whole like visions thing, and then the fact that monsoons mean more deeply than just the fact that it's raining outside. And I don't know where we'd like to like go with the fact that we're both kind of like, we have that sort of like premonition-y, like, or like this is a meaning of something deeper connection.
Maybe it's, so you have this sort of sibling rivalry with Cesar.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like we feel like coworkers in a sense.
Yeah.
Like your best friend at work.
Yeah.
We're both like, oh, you got to deliver a report in today? Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
Boss is riding me.
I've got so
Cesar
many.
is trying so hard to kill this person, and I really need to give them a vision. And
I've got so many to deliver today.
Do you want to just take a quick walk to the copier, and we'll like talk about it, circle back? Remember offices.
We're working.
Yeah. Going to offices, y'all. Ooh, hate that. What other relationships do we have to define? Or have we actually defined? I don't think we've defined all.
I think Duty Ken like really, really admires Mina, and just the like sheer level of like empathy and compassion and love and connection that they have to everything. Because like they have like Duty Ken is very similar, like not near to the same extent, but like an understanding of like connection. And so I think he just really, really admires Mina and like aspires to one day have any level of connection that like she can have.
I love it because I was thinking Mina is not intimidated by Diddykin, but like they bring a lot of intense, often kind of negative-ish, or at least nostalgic emotion.
Yeah.
So I think she senses that, you know, they are they're you know, neutral or to positive feelings toward her, really, but she's also like, hey, I love your shirt, I have to go, because I want to see how that resolves.
Yeah. I love that.
Before Izzy said what Mina's feelings were, I was about to say that Dutykin sounds like they just simp for Mina.
You're not
It
wrong.
happened.
I mean, like, that just means that Cesar might just be a fucking dork and try and like set up situations where me and Derek can run into each other.
So cute. Oh my god, yes.
It's like, no, I got you. Derek, I got you. Listen, I got you. And Derek is
So
I love it.
Parent trapping your sibling.
before we start going into situations, let's remind everyone this is a charity stream supporting Black and Pink, which is a incredible charity that supports LGBTQIA 2S plus. Sorry, my brain turned off for a second. Folks dealing with incarceration and imprisonment, and also helps people living with HIV/AIDS in so many different ways. So if you can donate, please do. If not, share the word, let people know we're doing this for the entire month of June, every weekend. Yeah, with that said, let's get a move on into the game. So, how the game works is that every time we come together, we set the scene by saying, hey, what time period is it? Where are you in the world? What mundane place have you found yourselves in? And who else is around? The scenes can play out in a linear or non-linear fashion through time, and they can be as historical or as fantastical as we would like. So that doesn't really matter. Once the scene is set, we roll a d10 for a prompt and use that prompt to play out the scene. It can be as much RP or as little as we would like. And once the scene is done, we ask each other a series of questions and go to the next scene from there. So that all said, let's go ahead and build our scene together. What time period is it?
Part of me is like, what if we all just say a 1-digit number and then mash that into a year? But that feels like a bad idea.
That's how we get a number that's real wild. And I do not want to do that.
792. We got to figure out what that means.
7792. It's the future, the far future.
Extreme future.
Is there any sort of era that folks would like to just like explore into? It doesn't have to be like a specific place yet. We'll figure out the place later, but if you want to pick a year or a century, that kind of thing.
I've had sort of a ancient Greece vibe in my head all night. I don't know why, nor do I know what to do with that. And the only thing I know about Greece, or maybe it's Rome, is Hercules.
Greece.
Okay, great. See?
In Rome, it's Heracles.
There. See, I don't words. Greece, Hercules. I assume that they're actually just a small gospel choir in every corner. That's what I know of Greece. So that's my part of the setting.
The
Is
Grecian
the
chorus.
muses. Yeah.
Great.
Perfect.
So I'm assuming that's two of the things. What time period is it, and where are you in the world? If everyone's okay with that,
Yeah.
we're in ancient Greece.
Yay.
What mundane place have you found yourselves in?
Like one of those like salons where like philosophers come to like share ideas.
It's like a huge spa, and everyone's just
Yeah.
hanging out, sharing ideas.
Sharing and talking. Yeah.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, we're in the corner being goth and sad.
Maybe
As you do.
nerds. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm busy causing fights in the corner because this one guy said that a chicken is a man.
Yeah, I was literally like, is Cesar the chicken person?
Who else is around? I assume the chicken person, which I
Chicken
believe is
person.
Socrates.
And Diosthenes is the guy that like totally fucking made fun of him, I think.
Everyone made fun of him. Even now, we still make fun of him.
That's true.
I agree with Izzy that there should just be a chorus of muses in the corner just singing.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, I like the idea that they're this is like they're off. They're at the spa, but they communicate through singing. Like that's just how they are.
Yeah.
Like any high school theater kid is like, no, this is normal.
This is normal.
Okay.
You've taken me back to a terrible time.
Took my own self back. Listen.
So, who would like to roll a d20? I mean, d10.
Like,
determine our
I don't
prompt.
I'm gonna roll my pride one.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I got an 8. I
An
don't know what
8.
8 means.
I have the PDF up, so I can reference it right now. A moment alone is our prompt for this one. As a reminder, we know 3 things. We love each other. The powers that be most definitely wouldn't approve of our relationships. And there is only one place that is safe to meet: Earth. We have this Grecian spa where there are people laying around enjoying wine, grapes, some people talking about philosophy, another man holding a plucked chicken, and other strange things happening. But in the quiet, in the private, who is there when we start our scene?
I think Cesar just finished some mischief. I think because there's a plucked chicken involved, so Cesar just finished some mischief, and so I think he's enjoying his time above ground because I feel like since Gadejos are supernatural beings, I think he spends a lot of time in the underworld when he isn't sort of on Earth causing mischief. So I think he's just enjoying the fresh air and sort of like stealing wine from people.
Is anyone else there, or would someone like to join the scene, seeing Cesar causing mischief there?
I think Mina will check in with Cesar pretty regularly. So, especially knowing that he's just, come back from causing some mischief, he'll pop in, see him stealing wine, and be like, that's going to get you in trouble one day.
Oh, my dear. I live for trouble. But shouldn't you take care? Many people are drunk here. Won't you feel that strongly?
Well, I thought I'd swing by and make sure you weren't making too much trouble, but of course that was wrong. I'll be all right. I just wanted to make sure everything's all right with you.
Oh, everything's perfect. I'm above ground. I make old men scream at each other and look like infants. It's amazing.
It sounds delightful. What were you doing this time?
Well, Socrates was claiming something about men or whatever, and I made Diosthenes bring in a chicken to make fun of him. And I'm pretty sure they're trying to assassinate each other now.
All right, well, maybe I'll be on my way sooner than I thought.
Oh, come on. Stay a moment, at least with me. There are many rooms here.
All right, always for you, I suppose.
And I think Cesar will just sort of head towards like a place where they can sort of sit in like a shaded like area, and offer Mina some wine.
She hesitates for a second. Anything for you, I suppose. And we'll take just a sip. Wine.
Oh, you're so sincere when you enjoy things, my dear.
That's my burden.
Have you seen any of the others recently?
It was a brief passing with Dada, but we didn't talk long. They were, as usual, causing trouble, just as you do, I suppose. And yet, I didn't stop to make the same time for you. Then again, there was no offer of wine on that end.
Well, I would say that Dara has such fire, but it's just completely against their nature.
I believe that's what the youths will one day call a dad joke.
What are you, Durican, looking into the future now?
Many gifts, I suppose.
It makes you lovely, my dear, compared to my troublesome one.
Oh, there's an element of balance, isn't there? For example, had I not shown up today, who knows what that man and his chicken would be doing now? Durkin knows, probably.
Hopefully not choking.
What?
Nothing. I said nothing. More wine.
I think that's when Dada probably shows up holding a pitcher of wine and legitimately just pours it into your glasses and pulls out their own from nowhere and probably sits like almost on Cesar's lap, just like full-fledged, almost sitting on your lap, looking directly at Mina in the eyes as she does it. And just be like, Cesar, it's good to see you. And Mina, you're here too?
I am. Can you see them, though? It seems you are primarily focused on someone else.
Oh, well, I figured Cesar and I might have some business to take care of. I see that Cesar has introduced chickens to the baths now, which is quite interesting.
Have you never tasted grand chicken broth, my dear? It's wonderful. Chicken's baths, it's necessary.
I don't really eat much. I do drink, though, and takes a big sip of wine.
Dada, my dear, dear friend, was there something you needed here? As you can see, my dear friend Cesar is busy with me, so I'm confused about why you're sitting here.
I just thought I'd cut in for a bit.
Well, you have.
Good. Then you won't mind walking away.
Should at least finish my drink first. She takes an angry sip.
Can I send like a mental, oh my God, Dudikin, please, wherever the hell you are, can you please come here?
Yeah,
So
of course.
awkward.
What I didn't expect, 2 of my friends fighting over my time. Am I loving it? Yes.
Yes. Duty Ken likes to draw like the things that are happening across time. And so they have spent the majority of this chicken encounter sort of like hiding in a corner and drawing the different ways that the chicken encounter could go. And upon receiving a message through the ether, just kind of like circles a particular, like the correct answer of how it will go, and like sighs and closes the book because she won't get to watch it play out. And then like goes to the room where all of them are and just hello, yes, all of you. It it's good to see you. It's been a while. And sort of like very like looking between and like seeing what Dara and Cesar are doing and just kind of like and then seeing that Mina is in kind of like angry spirits and just very like subdued about that.
Oh no, there's only one seat left and it's next to Mina.
Oh no.
What do
Who
we
would have
do?
guessed?
Well, actually, I wanted to ask if this was okay, RK, but I think when Durican shows up, Cesar will. You said Dara was almost sitting in their lap. Cesar sort of wants to
Almost.
like pull Dara like into their lap.
That's totally fine with Dara. Dara does not fight it.
And he's like, my sibling, my grand friend, Durican, I'm sure that you can lighten the air. Have a seat wherever you wish, except this seat is taken. And he's gonna sort of pat himself.
I can see that, yeah. Do you mind if I sit here? And they like gestured the seat next to Mina.
Of course not. Meanwhile, she is not looking at Dara, but Cesar, but is very much. It would be an expression of like, what are you doing? This worse. Please. Of course, relax, sit, have seat. There is space, and you should take it as needed.
Thank you.
Durican, you charm her. Mina forgot how to use her vocal organs.
I simply was choosing my words carefully, as is required of where you. There are times, for example, when one, and then she'll take another sip of wine.
Would you all like to see how the chicken event is going?
Is it assassination? I'd love to see it if it's assassination.
I thought it was going to be a makeout session between Socrates and that other one.
And they will like turn to the sketchbook page. Regrettably, it's this, and it's just all of the people in the salon have come into a circle and have split themselves into chicken and non-chicken groups, and they're just yelling at each other.
Oh, that's boring. I was hoping for
Yeah.
something a little more passionate, feisty, a little more spicy.
Aren't pointless arguments precisely your domain?
Mine? No.
Well,
But fun solutions are. Wink.
I am sure, Cesar, if you went out and brought a different chicken, it might change things.
How many chickens do you have? Slow sip of wine.
I think he glances out. Like I feel like there's like a window that looks out, and of course the terrain has started to get rainy, and I think at the window there are 4 different dogs, and he looks and he's just like, No more chickens, I'm afraid, but I could release a pack of dogs.
If you walk the dog on two legs, it is also a man, yeah?
Cesar, I have a great idea.
Yes, my
Let's
dear.
go confuse some philosophers.
You don't need to bother them. They're just trying to enjoy their day.
Clearly not. They're now throwing the chicken back and forth.
But it's fun for them. They love chicken throwing.
Mina, my dear, wouldn't you like to just join in a little bit of mischief?
I suppose I'll come and watch. But if there is chaos caused, I will step in.
My dear, chaos follows me wherever, and I encourage you to step in at any time.
Another sip of wine.
Pretty Ken, do you wish to see how this is going to play out?
They turn to a blank new page in their sketchbook, and she says, I want nothing more than to find out the end of this.
I think that that's actually where we cut the scene there, as Dara and Cesar go to cause some chaos with some philosophers.
It's so cute.
And Duriken and Mina get to see what happens and maybe step in and help. But let's go through our questions for the end of that scene. How do you say goodbye? Are you looking forward to seeing each other again? What promise do you make to each other? And this can be to one person specifically, this can be to everyone. It really depends. So me personally, for Dada, Dada probably, after the chaos is caused, after it's all happened and done, I think she probably gives Duriken a hug and looks at like the drawings that you've made and like points and makes little commentary like, make my hair bigger in this photo. That kind of things. Not like anything like criticizing your art, but legitimately just like, make me look hotter. Thank you. Most likely, and Vale, this is if you're okay with it, gives Cesar a big kiss on the lips. And then with Mina, I don't think it's like the scene started off hostile, but the fact that Mina was able to be like, yes, I will come and watch, I think Mina actually gets a you have my respect head nod this time.
Head nod.
As Dara then leaves.
I think Cesar says goodbye to Duriken by being like, let's go here next. I'll see you in a couple days. I know you're after this one, trying to save this one, but I'm going to get there first.
Restructure my plans.
And yeah, I'm totally okay with like a big goodbye kiss. And Cesar's definitely sort of like, so fantastic. But I think like in the past, Cesar has sort of like been like affection and then like, okay, we're done, we'll see each other soon. But I think this time he says like, I can't wait to see you again.
Oh, which I think is new for Dada. I don't think Dada's used to like even expressing that we're looking forward to seeing each other again. It's normally just like, I'll see you again, or see you when I see you type interactions. And I think that kind of makes Dada pause for a second. And then she's like, she definitely pauses for way too long. Like, she should definitely have said something by now. And then she says, she like turns around and looks at you and says, as you should. And then like very quickly leaves because she's not sure how to handle that whatsoever.
And that's when Cesar looks at me and he's like, that could have gone a lot better. I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, I think Mina is like a very awkward, respectful goodbye to Diriken. Just safe travels. You are be safe in your travels, and don't be unsafe during your travels. And then immediately turns away, and is going to go say goodbye to Cesar, but Dara gets there first. And she stands there for a second and watches this with like her just unreadable expression. That Cesar probably knows well enough to be like, this is she's annoyed but intrigued. And when Dada turns around to give her the like nod of respect, there's a moment between them of I think that intrigue, something not quite jealousy, but like, huh. And then they're gone.
Mina's an empath, right?
Mhm.
Like, so Mina would definitely feel Dara's like panic when it happens of just like,
Gay panic.
what is going on? And then just leave after that.
Yeah. So there's just a moment, where Nina's just huh. And then we'll turn back to Cesar and do a much more genuine, like, stay safe. I'll see you when I can see you. Let me know if you need any help.
You'll help me? Oh.
You know what I mean. And then she will. She didn't say I love you, but I think there's a gesture between them of some sort that is I don't even know, just
Can it be a forehead touch?
Oh my god, yes! Let me be a forehead touch. So they do the forehead touch and everyone cries. And when I say everyone, I just mean me.
And me.
I think that especially for Mina, and if this is okay, I think that when they say goodbye and they do like a forehead touch, he says, "I see you," because like he's looking at them.
I think there's a verbal response to that aside from the series of noises that I just made. No. I think she says thank you. And that's the end of their little guy.
Duty Ken doesn't necessarily adhere to the construct of goodbyes. And so in lieu of like an actual goodbye to anyone, Z draws very vague, portentous images and hands them to you. So for Cesar, it's a very, very, very rough sketch of a like dog jumping out a church window. And there's like just like a lot of shocked like scratches around it. And for Dada, it's a single blooming lily with like raindrops falling off of it. And for Mina, it's just like a vague, very abstract impression of like clasped hands. And they don't say anything. She just walks up to each of you and like hands you the picture.
Are these calling cards for the next time Duriken sees them?
Yeah.
I love that so much. Duriken technically knows how this ends already, and I love that and hate it. Oh my goodness.
I just need to pop in really quickly above the table. I'm going to just go ahead and take work off for the rest of the week so we can keep playing this until we die. Cool? I don't know what everyone else's schedule is like.
I'm in.
Cool. I have 3 sick days.
Done. Thank you so much, team.
I'm emotionally ill. So
I'm emotionally ill.
Me every day. Okay, so that's how we all say goodbye. We did looking forward to see each other again. Does anyone want to make a promise?
I don't feel like Cesar does promises.
Dara is not ready to make a promise to anyone. Besides, maybe like the head nod also saying, I'll kick your ass next time, as well as I respect you. And that's the promise.
Love it. I love that. I think Mina will
I
make.
feel like.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I think
you go.
Mina makes a promise to Cesar, just see you again. And that's it.
I think Duty Ken's ongoing promise to Cesar is like, I'll be where you're going to get someone.
All right. That all said, we are going to be taking our break here. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes, depending, and we'll continue with our story of four lovers. Yeah, see you soon.
See you soon.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Heaven Nor Hell, a game made by Kiana Shaw that we're playing here for Pride Brunchathon. Pride Brunchathon is a Pride event that we're doing here at Utopia for the entire month of June. It's happening every weekend. We'll talk about that more later, but currently we are raising money for Black and Pink. Black and Pink is a national Black and Pink National is a prison abolitionist organization dedicated to abolishing the criminal punishment system and liberating LGBTQIA2 plus 2S plus people and people living with HIV/AIDS who are affected by that system through advocacy, support, and organizing. Black and Pink National was founded in 2005 and now has a strong grassroots network of 11 volunteer-led chapters and more than 20,000 current and formerly incarcerated LGBTQIA2S plus and people living with HIV/AIDS members located across the country. It is a great organization that we're raising money for, and if you can donate, please do. That all said, let's hop back into our game. We're playing a bunch of immortals who are in love, not always in a romantic way, sometimes just in a familial way, sometimes in a coworker way, throughout time. We just finished our scene in the Grecian baths, and now we're headed somewhere else. So, who would like to roll a d10 to determine our prompt?
We'll roll my. Well, it's supposed to be unicorn die, but the D10 doesn't have one. I'm going to say your wizards, could also be you are wizards. The point is, it's fun and sparkly. That is a. Hang on. It's either a 6 or a 9 team. Ready?
Oh,
Oh, it's definitely a 6.
Okay. Those were two very different ones on the prompt list. This is a disagreement. Is a 6.
Yay.
So let's create our scene. What time period are we in?
I went last time.
I'm a like big fan of like the Art Deco aesthetic of like the Roaring '20s
Okay.
and like Harlem and things like that.
Yeah. So like 1920s. We okay with New York, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. What mundane place have you found yourselves in? If I may give a suggestion, we are at the rich parties that inspired like the Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Love that.
Love that.
And who else is there?
I was like, Gatsby. But
Listen, it can be as real or historical or fantastical as we want. So Gatsby could be there.
He's just chilling on the balcony.
It's Jay
being
Gatsby.
sad about Daisy.
No, he's gay for Nick in this world.
Oh, fair. Good point. And also just, I think, in the book, as we all know. But
Well,
yeah.
Nick is gay for Gatsby. Gatsby doesn't give him a moment's notice.
The party is being hosted by the two of them. They own the house now.
Yeah,
oh my
they're
God,
married
I'm
now.
so happy for them.
Everybody okay with that? We're at Jay and Nick Gatsby's gay anniversary party in the 1920s
Yes,
New York.
perfect.
Yeah.
F. Scott Fitzgerald, eat my ass. We made the day.
Everyone
Oh,
liked your
it's-
wife
it's-
better, bitch. Let's
It's
go.
in public domain this year,
Yes, it is.
so you can do
We
whatever
can
the
do
fuck
whatever
you
we
want
want.
with it.
Exactly.
The first of the year, it went into public domain.
Yay.
So it is a enormous party at this mansion in the 1920s. Ooh, I bring rain. That sucks. And we're having there's a disagreement as our prompt. So who would like to start out the scene? I know Cesar, you started last time, so if someone else would like to take the lead.
I think Mina shows up with the intention of not necessarily working. It's a party, so she's generally like, cool. Those are usually pretty happy. Yeah, it maybe has a job there of just sort of making sure things stay chill. But as soon as she shows up and like it starts raining, she's like, of course, there's rain today. And I think she already knows what that means, and she's mostly annoyed. But there's again a twinge of like, at least my hair looks good. I wanted to say she's in like one of the flapper dresses, but I think she's gonna go with the high waisted pants of the 19. I don't know when that happens. But it's the what's that one, the lady who likes Captain America, and she has pants.
Agent Carter.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It's a very Peggy Carter look. Shows up at the party. It's already raining, and she's just suppresses her irritation to be like, I'm here for the party. I just want to make sure things go okay. And yeah, we'll be there.
I think when you get there, you probably run into Dara, who's already in the house. And you can see like the party guests are now moving into the house from the outside. And Dara looks upset.
My dear friend, I figured you would be here as soon as I saw the rain. I'm sensing you're unhappy.
The moment Dara like hears your voice, you can see the facade go up. Oh no, I'm having a great time. It's a party after all.
It is indeed. That's why I'm here. Funny, I'm not sure we've discussed this before, but you know that I know you are lying to me, right?
Sip of wine.
Listen, we've never been particularly close, but we do have friends in common. Please, this is what I do. What is going on?
I ruin things.
And
yes, that's part of what I do, and it's part of what I enjoy. But I can't separate myself from that.
And this is, I'm assuming.
Sorry, go ahead. For example, I came to this party hoping to have fun. I saw the fireworks and the things they were doing outside, and I wanted to join. And yet, everything is being pulled inside now.
There's a moment of genuine surprise. A, that they're being honest with her, and B, that this is a sincere. I don't think she's ever felt this from Dara before, and is kind of like, huh. And first intrigued for a second, and then kind of falls back into work mode of like wanting to fix things. And says, I can see why that would be frustrating, and yet I think everyone having moved inside lends a closeness to the party. More opportunity for chaos, certainly, if that's your thing, and I know it is, but intimacy as well, new friendships, perhaps not fireworks, but there's still a party to be had, and perhaps more of one now that the feeling is somewhat constrained. I wouldn't call this ruined. I would call it a new opportunity.
Don't do this. Don't treat me like I'm one of your projects.
I'm just trying to help.
I think Dara just like takes a sip of her drink and said, I know, that's all you ever try to do. I'm stuck in my role and you were stuck in yours.
Are you stuck? I mean, I can sense what you think about yourself, but as much as I regret to say it, I see more in you. Your brand of chaos doesn't need to be as destructive as you seem to think.
Tara just kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, really? And what do you think?"
I think you are only limited by what you see yourself as, but I see you as others do, and others see greatness in you. If you were able to see that in yourself, perhaps you could see beyond the fireworks to something greater, smaller, certainly quieter, of course, but no less.
I think Dara takes a small step towards you, like face to face with you. You see what other people see. That's not what I want to know. How do you see me without them?
She's taken aback for a moment. I'm not sure she's been asked that question before and doesn't know how to answer. And then I think starts to answer what I've seen, and then a slight other disagreement happens, and she's like, "Oh, I have to go over there," but is clearly sort of shaken by that, like, what do I see, sort of thing.
Can I be super messy and
Oh,
walk
absolutely.
in at this moment?
Oh, yeah.
So Cesar is like half covered in like rain. Like his tie is askew and he's got like a full drink in his hand. He's definitely had a couple already. And he's just sort of gonna be like, "Ah, my favorites, you're here."
Ooh, Cesar, looks like you are a few drinks ahead.
Well, I sense that there might be some dramatic tension happening, but I haven't sensed anything in the mortals. I knew something would happen today, but I'm not sure what. And I think if it's okay, he's gonna sort of step next to Dara and slip an arm around their waist.
It's okay, but I think Dara pushes away. Not in like a I'm mad at you, but more in the sense of like this is not what I need right now kind of sense.
Okay.
But you definitely can feel the sort of like something's off with Dara.
I think as Caesar swings through, that will be enough to sort of create tension is broken. I don't have to answer any other questions. But does see that exchange that Cesar goes to like wrap an arm around Dada's waist. Dada pushes away, and so Mina will circle back to that and be like, "Is everything all right? I sensing even more tension than there was before." Dada,
I thought you had something else to take care of.
I took care of it, thank you. And now I'm taking care of this.
Well, I'd love to go back to our conversation that you left.
Just now, there seems impolite. We have company. Cesar, how have you been?
I care deeply for the both of you, and I think something happened. I thought it was going to be a mortal thing, but this is far more interesting.
You never could resist your strange urges. All right. Dada, I see in you a passion that I envy. that is greater than many I have known. And I have known many a passionate person, but you have greatness within you, have potential that I see squandered every time we seem to speak. Now, for example, someone offers you an arm, a friendship, and an extension of themselves, and you turn away because, of course, you do.
Mina, you're going too far.
They asked. I'm simply answering a question. There's so much more in you. I can see, that's what I see. And yet, here you are, waiting for what? An excuse? To become less? To turn away? That's what I see.
Dada steps forward, holding her drink, and says, and once again, you've proven that you can't escape what you are and what your destiny is. The same way I can't escape it, and Cesar can't escape it. You see me as a project that needs to be bettered. Rather than realizing the reason I stepped away was because that was not the sort of comfort I wanted. That was not the sort of comfort that I needed. You may be an empath, Mina, but you're looking at the world from your own views. And Dada throws the wine on you.
I was going to do that.
Walks out of the party.
Love that. Mina's first shocked because wine. Mina's not angry often. That's just not her MO. But especially when she's around Dada, it's sort of like a whole other thing. And I think is holding her own glass that she hasn't really had any liquid from. And it, like, she's holding it in her hand and starts to shake and then almost shatters because that's dramatic. I think there's just like, she like there's like a split up the side and there's like wine or whatever she has, champagne probably, I don't know what they had in the 20s, running down one side over her hand, and she's standing there just shaking. She saw it, especially like this is not a normal thing for her. She's like that arrogant, confrontational, useless, self-centered.
No, not this time.
Not this time. You saw.
You. Dara is difficult. But it's part of what makes them amazing. And it's okay to misunderstand each other. It's okay to not get what they need, but you can't be angry when people I'm going after Dara. Maybe think about, oh, did our video go out?
We good?
Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we are
fought so
definitely
hard.
gone.
Oh no.
Too much. Sorry, I got too dramatic.
So intense. We broke the stream.
Our captions are still going though, so I
yeah,
hope...
that's good. That's good. That's something.
Oopsie.
Got so mad.
The video
the whole
walked out
video.
of this conversation.
We're like, I'm uncomfortable. I need to go.
O's? We good?
Sad. I'm very excited to walk in. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey. Rue is the special one now.
To walk in.
Hey.
I'm just laughing at
Number 2.
You have to carry us. Use your expressions for all people.
Okay, I'll just split
and the
my
dramatic
face
finish.
Molly's back.
All
Izzy's
right.
back.
Hey, it's my face.
All right. Fantastic.
And we will leave me in darkness.
Cesar's like,
acting.
I'm going after Dara. Please enjoy the party. And like I think he does this thing where he just sort of, it happens in Good Omens, where like his drink was at near the bottom, it like refills and he's just like sober now and he's running after Dara.
I think Duty Ken sort of walked into this conversation at a very inopportune time, probably somewhere in the middle of Dara and Mina having their like deep confrontation, and just sort of like stayed back so as to not be in either of their way, because that's not where she's supposed to be essentially in the like grand scheme of things. But the bit afterwards with Mina getting angry, which I'm not sure is something Duty Ken has ever seen, like Mina be really angry, and then seeing Dara storm off and Cesar storm off after them, like Duty Ken will just kind of step out of the like crowd circle, and up to Mina and just, everything is fluid, time and space and all of that, but we do have natures. Yours is to love and care and feel what everyone feels, and I cannot begin to understand the weight that must carry and how hard it must be when other people are upset and you have to experience it. But you cannot change someone else's nature just to make your own more easy. Just as I cannot stop Cesar from trying to go after the people I wish to keep alive. It frustrates me, but it is the back and forth that we have to have. And it is not good for you or for Dara to try and force yourself into different shaped holes.
I think when Durikan first walks up, Mina is still very much sort of caught in this, like, she was angry and then Cesar left and now she's kind of stunned and angry, and is almost about to go after them and be like, we're not letting this happen. I'm in charge here. And then Durikan stops her. And I think she starts like, this isn't the time. I need to, and then stops and listens to what they're saying and is very openly A, considering, but also B, almost, I hadn't considered. It could be in my nature to want others to change. I'd only ever considered, I do want the best for people, as you've said. And yet, perhaps my best is not their best. It is frustrating to know that I could help them be and see more, and yet I recognize that perhaps our more is quite different. How did you know that?
What do you mean? How did I know?
Well, as you've said.
About you wanting things to be better, or?
No, that is, as you've said, it's my nature. But you've also said about them, about Dara. You don't share what I share with them, and yet you seem to know better what they need, if not what they want.
Well, I would not say that I know what they need necessarily, but I do know, sort of, which things will make them leave and which things lead to a path in which they stay. And I don't know necessarily which of those is healthier or better or the right answer. Just that in some paths she walks away, in some paths you walk away, and in some the two of you stay together.
At the some you two stay together, Mina looks up and then quickly like away. This has been helpful. Thank you. I'm surprised. That's unusual for me. Thank you.
Yeah. If you need anything, I am around.
She immediately goes back to I've broken. I had this for drinking. There was inside of this glass.
I can go get you another one.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sort of, Dudiken has this moment of like enough confidence to have that conversation, and then immediately has to like.
I love it.
Loses all of their confidence in one go.
I've lost my confidence. I must go.
I will recover a little bit once I leave to get you this drink, but know that I am on a teetering edge.
Yeah.
I think that's actually where we end that scene. I don't think we need to play through Dada and Cesar's second half of it. How do you feel about that, Vale?
I'm okay. I'm okay with. I'd like to know potentially like what the outcome is, even if we don't play through it.
Yeah, we can always decide.
Maybe that's in how we say goodbye.
Yeah, we can do that in how we say goodbye. The storm gets worse, at least with Dada, because their emotions very much affect how her storm presents and how it affects the world. So it most likely gets worse. And I think at first when Cesar shows up, Dada gets very defensive. Before like realizing that like you are kind of on her side, but also kind of like understanding of both perspectives with Mina and Dada. And then I think she kind of calms down a bit. That's like where I'm coming from with where Dada would be. What do you think about Cesar? What do you think like he would want to do? How do you think he would handle the situation? That kind of thing.
I think the main thing is that he doesn't want Tara to be alone if they don't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of, what's really funny, if it's like a very bad storm, I picture this like black dog with a tie like running through the rain and then like sort of like snapping into Cesar when he finds Tara.
I think that we're probably sitting out back by the pool with like all these scattered decorations. Things have been knocked over. No one's outside anymore. You can see like the lights in the house in the background. You can hear the music playing and everything. And Dada's just like sticking their feet in the pool. And Cesar's right next to her in this horrible storm. And I think how Dada says goodbye to Cesar this time is that she says, I look forward to seeing you again, and I hope it's soon.
And yeah, I think because Dara didn't appreciate the touch comfort earlier, I think during this moment where they're just sitting out in this bad storm, like feet in the pool, I think again Cesar just sort of wants to be this like quiet presence near Dara, which is very like against his nature. Like he wants to talk, he wants to like touch, he wants to be like a joker, but like he sits there and like when she says that, I think he gives her like his big smile, and he says, I think then I shall look for you.
You'll find me in the center of the storm. And I think she like leans in and like gives Cesar a kiss on the cheek. and like thumb on the cheek, gentle rub. She says, "Find me where I go."
I love chasing storms.
You was so what I'm doing.
And then I think she more or less just like disappears with the storm. I don't think Dara says goodbye to Mina, of course. And I don't think that Dara even knew that Dudiken was there.
No.
Sort of got too involved with the fight and everything. Yeah, and I don't think that Dala makes any promises to anyone besides Cesar of like, chase me. What about the rest of y'all? How you say your goodbyes and everything?
Yeah, Mina and Dada obviously don't say goodbye. I think for maybe the first time ever, Mina does not say goodbye to Cesar either. Like just lets that, like they went after Dada, whatever. But does notice when Dada leaves, I assume the storm starts to clear.
Mhm.
Can we say that people start to go back outside for the fireworks? And Mina among them sort of moves outside and starts to watch the fireworks set up with this like a sense of sort of nostalgia, like a sadness, like maybe they were right. And that for her is like I think profound enough. She very much wants to leave before these fireworks start, but in turning to go, runs into Dirikan with her drink, and like reaches out to take it, and there's like a lingering like oh my god, our fingers brushed sort of thing. She doesn't react to verbally, but she doesn't take the drink as quickly as she could. It's like, while the fireworks are starting, things seem to be settled here, so I'll be going, but your insight today was unexpected and yet invaluable. Perhaps we should talk again.
Duty can sort of like when the fingers do the touch and like linger thing, like their aura that Mina can sense just gets kind of like very like bubbly, like there's like a series of bubbles.
Colby Kaye going on.
Oh, I haven't heard that song in so long. And they just sort of like nod, and she's like, you always have very good perspectives on things, so I was happy to return the favor just once. I look forward to the next time we cross paths. It will be interesting.
I do as well. Thank you. I think it's just a fade out with the glass in the hand.
So, with that said, we enter our next scene. Based on what we've done so far, I think we're going in chronological order. So this will be the next event in the timeline. Most likely we've seen each other throughout time and everything, but this is the next time all four of us are together again. We are running low on time, so this might be our last scene for the night. So, or for the brunch. Time is relative. I don't know what time it is.
It's whenever you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. We're picking which time period we're in.
Yeah.
So, if it's okay with everyone, I actually would like Turiken to be the person who starts in the scene. But we can still go around and pick which scene we want to go and everything. If that's okay with
Yeah.
everyone. Okay. So, what time period are people feeling? It's going to be after the 1920s.
So I don't know if this well, we choose the rules right now, but
Mhm.
can we roll to see what we're gonna get and then choose a time period?
You mean roll the prompt?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Love
Who
it.
would like to roll? Who hasn't rolled yet?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do it.
That is a 4.
A warning.
Oh,
Dang. How fun.
fitting.
We've just been informed by our wonderful, amazing producer, Jess, that we do have time until 5. We'll see how we feel with the scene and then determine if we're going to go for until 5 or not. I don't
Gotcha.
want to take too much of anyone's time, is the main thing.
Take all my time. Okay.
So 4, a warning. So let's figure out, when do we think we should be there? Like, what time period?
So 40s is wartime. If we want a sort of like if that's because I know that can be dark.
Mhm.
The 40s is not a happy time. But it's something that we can maybe go for, or if we want to go later, there's 70s has different conflicts.
We could even do something modern.
Yeah.
In my head, I'd been thinking when I knew this was a thing but didn't know anything about it. I in preparation and also just because it's Pride Month, watched the San Junipero episode of Netflix and was thinking about doing a 1980s, but I sort of like the idea. I kind of like a darker time setting for this one, and then if we'd have time for another round, maybe we finish in 1980s. And I know that one might be going backwards, but no, I like a modern-ish or more modern sort of tumultuous time.
Rue, what is your thoughts?
Um, I think if we're doing this is the last one, a modern time. But if we're gonna do one afterwards, maybe something a little bit before that.
Okay, so let's see if we can do one after this one. Um, are people okay with doing wartime 1940s?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay, remember, please have your XN and O cards ready in case anything too heavy comes up. Yes, so it is the 1940s. What mundane place have we found ourselves in? Where are we in the world? That kind of stuff. I personally am going to say, as an X, I do not want to be anywhere that war is currently happening. Like in the setting. I don't want us to be like on a battlefield or anything.
As an X, I would like to be nowhere where there are concentration camps.
Agreed. Any ideas, folks, where you would like to be?
Could we be in Central America where
Yeah.
there's still rationing and stuff like that? It's still a little bit dangerous, but it's a place that is a little bit more untouched.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. So we're in Central America, the 1940s. There's war going on, but we are not there. But we're still aware of it. What place in uh, in Central America? What sort of like environment are we in? It doesn't have to be anything huge or a big event or anything. It says mundane place. It can be anywhere.
Is okay, then O card. I feel like a hospital is drama, but that also might be too much drama.
Maybe like a town square, like between a
Yeah.
couple of different buildings, like. And then just because Rue mentioned this earlier, maybe there's a church.
The distance. Yeah, I think that works well. Just sort of like a town square. People are milling about. They have work to do, other things, but there's still sort of that air of tension. Even with like how people are living, what the things that are happening, the rationing, as you said, Vale. I think that works really well. And Duriken, you are starting the scene here. So
Uh,
it's a town square. It's busy. People are mulling about. They have things to go, things to do, places
things to go.
Things to go.
People to do.
Ooh, a wink.
I think wartime is particularly busy for Duty Ken. Like just in general, like there are so many more people experiencing hardship and needing advice and needing that sort of like sense of home and connection, because something that a lot of the time we don't think about in war is how displaced people feel. And so like a part of feeling at home is being able to connect with the people who like who were here before and things like that, and like how even if you're not necessarily home, you can have aspects of that home with you. So I feel like Duty Ken spends a lot of wartime running around, and doesn't necessarily have usually as much time to breathe as they might normally. um, but they've sort of found and carved a section of time out for themselves, so that he can go and sort of sit in this town square and remind himself, that there are still like normal lives happening, and she's not always surrounded with like all of that death and sadness, and like really get a sense of the world and the hustle and bustle of a place that's not necessarily as entrenched in war. And so Z has found some space for themselves at like a little coffee shop outdoor like table, and has sort of like skipped pages in their sketchbook from the like current wartime sketches, and is in the middle of sketching like future things, and will occasionally like see someone sketch something and like leave it under their newspaper or leave it under their plate for them to find, with no explanation or anything, just sort of like a warning or a piece of advice or some information that will be useful to this person in a way of brightening their lives in some small way. And so they're just kind of like wandering and placing things, and like it's a little weird, definitely, because when a stranger hands you a piece of paper, you're not entirely sure how to feel about it. But she's just kind of going from person to person and doing that.
I think Cesar, definitely, I feel like his leanness changes throughout time based on how much he has to work. And you mentioned that Duriken has been carving out some time to sort of like be away from things. And because of the setting of a warning, I feel like Cesar has arrived to maybe spoil a little bit of the party, which is not what he really wants to do. He is dressed up in a suit and has like a hat sort of like pushed down low and sort of falls into step next to Duriken. And he's like, the underground has been talking about a lack of work.
Hello, it is good to see you too. You seem tired. I suppose neglecting my own responsibilities has made more for you, huh?
You know, I could never resent you for that.
You could if you wanted to.
But I would never want to.
I
You're
think
my friend.
if Cesar will allow it, Duty Ken will just sort of like reach out and intertwine her fingers with his. So while they're walking, they're just kind of like holding hands.
Mm-hmm. I can't hold them back forever. I can make excuses. But they will come looking for you.
Sort of like a long pause, and then Duty Ken turns to a page in his sketchbook that's sort of just the silhouette of Duty Ken, and then like in white against a full like black shadow the whole rest of the page. Just I know, but I do appreciate it. You making space for me.
You're important to me. This world wouldn't be as interesting without you here.
And I would not have nearly as much a good time doing my work if you were not the one I was mirrored to.
And
I have missed stopping you and you. No, sorry. I have missed stopping you and your fun tricks. It is so different from this.
I think, as Eriken says, that this wouldn't be as much fun without you, or my work wouldn't be as much fun without you. They hear a voice from behind them, and the work you're doing is needed now more than ever. If they turn, they will see Mina. She looks pretty bad, just exhausted, and it's war times, and just things are not great. But is visibly relieved to see at least these two people. Gives them a half smile, and then gestures to one of the pictures that Dirtykin has left behind, and hold it up for just a second. It's like, it is interesting, the work that you do, but the sense of relief, if not confusion, people get is essential. It's a break, it's light, it's something else that isn't fear and anger and grief. So as much as it costs you, please keep going.
Dudiken does turn when she hears Mina's voice and listens very intently to their speech, and like gets a little bit teary-eyed, and pulls out another page of the sketchbook and leaves it on a table that's currently empty, but someone is going to sit at in a little bit. And just thank you. I'm sorry. You are hurting the most out of all of us, and here I am hiding from my responsibilities.
Certainly not the most, no, and for whatever else it's worth, I can certainly feel we are in this together, even if it doesn't seem as much, and what you're doing is just as important, if not more, than what you would be doing otherwise. And she smiles at them and then turns to Cesar. It's good to see you, friend. It's been a long time.
I think Cesar's still mad at me now from like 10 years ago.
From that thing.
Like 20 years ago. Like,
yeah.
And again, like Cesar looks gaunt. Cesar looks very thin and sort of worn out. And I think he gives sort of like a crooked, almost like wolf-like grin, and he's just like, yes. It's good to see you too. However, I wouldn't advocate the skipping of duties right now.
The thing is, I am unable to skip duties whether I want to or not. For example, I'm still well aware you seem to be harboring some ill resentment, which is funny because last I remembered, I believe you owed me an apology.
I am run ragged. And I didn't say anything untoward to you, Mina.
Nothing untoward. After eons of friendship, of guidance, of what I thought was closeness. You chose to turn against me for someone who barely sees in you what I do. Or don't you remember how that conversation began and how you ended it when you left?
I told you that you were wrong. And you were wrong. And you are wrong right now. I think Cesar, if it's okay, sort of like is gonna turn and pull Durican into a very strong hug.
Dudiken
then-
returns it with the same level of like strength.
And he's going to look at Mina and he's just like, we only have each other. And when we fight and when we say harsh things to each other, it damages what little we have. Mortals get to enjoy these connections without fear of anything except death. And then he's gonna put an arm out to Mina.
Mina will not take that arm. She'll look down at the arm and then look up and say, "Is that what you think? That mortals only fear death?" You know, for so long I'd held you in such high esteem. The way you see the world is different, strange, but it is beautiful. And yet here, you are short-sighted in a way I hadn't realized before. Do you think mortals fear only death? They fear loneliness as well. Cold and hunger, those are things that pass, but loneliness endures in a time like this. And for you to tell me about not abandoning each other is almost funny. And not in a way that I would find entertaining at this moment.
I think Dudiken sort of pulls back from the hug to sort of stand like still holding hands with Cesar, but like sort of in between the two of them. And just, I think you are both right in this instance. I can't begin to explain what mortals fear as someone who is not mortal. But I also understand that in the face of an eon of loneliness that we would feel if we separated, a decade of loneliness is not quite the same. I think what both of you want is to not experience that loneliness. Yes?
That is true.
I suppose.
I think that there's then a like drizzle that starts. It's not a huge storm or anything, it's just a few droplets here and there. And Cesar, you probably feel Dada's hands on your shoulders as she hugs you from behind and says, "I found you this time."
I think there's a sense of tension that like drains away. That like Cesar has been working doggedly. and he just sort of like almost slumps back a little bit and he's just like, I was chasing you, but work got in the way.
And I think almost instantly you all see a difference with Dada. Previously, Dada had always tried to sort of blend in with the crowds, looking very like appropriate for the time period. Now, however, Dada is wearing a sari, has like darker skin, very much has a bunch of the ornaments and regalia of a lot of Indian cultures, lots of gold jewelry and everything. And she gives you a kiss, Cesar, and says, well, it's okay. She looks out and sees Duriken and Mina and says, well, good. Everyone's here. It's been a little while. And then she'll step aside from behind you, Cesar, and kind of like stick near you, but not like hold you the entire time. More just like stand close enough that like your shoulders bump, that kind of thing. How are you all doing?
Do you really want to know?
I asked. Yes.
We've asked many things before and been displeased with the answer, but as I'm sure you're well aware, times are dark. As I was just reminded, we have only each other. Whether I like it or not, it's good you're here.
That's actually why I'm here. They know. The powers that be, they know. I'm dressed like this because I have been away for too many seasons. I'm being called back.
Judy Ken sort of like drops Cesar's hand and starts like flipping through her sketchbook, seeing if in any of like the visions that they've seen this and there's no drawings of it. And like then sort of closing the book and like stepping forward and if it's okay, just like reaching for Dara's shoulders.
Mhm.
Just I didn't see it. I'm sorry, I couldn't help. I couldn't warn you. I'm sorry.
I didn't see it either. I could have never known. It's okay. It will be okay.
You seem strangely calm about this. And I think Mina at least can sense this. There's a like panic and fear and like sadness. She's not sure from if it's hers or if it's coming from somewhere else or just like war times. We'll say, surely there's a way to fight this. Isn't that what you do? Create chaos and dissent, anger and war. You don't need to become beholden to them.
Or you could blame me. Dara, you could blame me. I could take the punishment in your stead.
No.
This will not
Yes.
happen. Dara, I think, like looks over to you, Cesar, and puts a hand on your cheek and says, no. You are already tired. This
If
is
I'm
not
punished, I don't have to run throughout the humans.
You know they will expect you to still do your work. Listen, I already know that this is not the best. And yes, I could fight. Yes, I could destroy and break. But I choose not to do that this time. Because I don't think this is the end.
I think at that, Mina is almost like too shocked to respond. It's not anger, but sort of incredulity. Like, you've lived centuries creating disasters, and in the one moment it would behoove you and all of us to fight back, you choose not to. this is who you are, as you so eloquently reminded me the last time you spoke, the last time we spoke. This is what you do, and if there is a destiny that you can't escape, then this is it. This is the time to be you and to fight. This is the greatness I see in you. And here you are walking into the darkness to leave, to go.
Because I was given a choice. I already know what my punishment is. I already know what I must do. But if I didn't take it, then the three of you wouldn't have each other anymore. They
It is
know, all of them, each of our respective powers know.
it is not so simple as losing everything for yourself for the sake of the rest of us. We are all we have, all of us, not just 3 or 2 or 1.
She's right. The sense of loss isn't measured in number of us. We'll feel you leave if it's you, or if it's you and me, or if it's all 4 of us. You are not allowed to abandon us. If this is the chaos you want, then let this be here. I will gladly fight you to keep you from going to whatever martyrdom you believe exists for you. If we are all we have, then it works only with the 4 of us. Do you understand?
Dara looks real, like, frustrated at this and looks at Cesar, I think, and says, "Do you know what I'm trying to do?"
Yes, I understand. I. If you feel this is not the end, then I will wait until this planet goes whimpering to the final darkness for you to return.
Dara puts a hand on Cesar's cheek and says, "Thank you." And looks to Dorican and says, "Draw. Find the ending that you know will come." And I think turns to Mina and says, "I'm going to fight. Now's not the time. I know we've had our differences, but I'm not rejecting my nature. I'm choosing to let passion live and to let my destruction flourish in the moment when I get you all back."
Mina is on the edge of unexpected tears, like tends to know herself relatively well, if only through the lens of other people, but it's kind of like this sort of caught her off guard. And they look at you and say, "Well, I suppose it's fitting that we leave here in yet another disagreement. In that case, I will make you an offer. You will find your way back to us, to me, or I will pursue you into that darkness, and in every storm you seek to create, I will find a way to undo it. I promise you the chaos that you seek will come, if only in the form of me ruining all of your plans if you don't find your way back to us. That is my promise to you.
And Dara steps closer and says, chase me. Every storm, and every shore that is buffeted by my winds and my rain, find me. And even if I'm not there physically, know that rain is my love for you. And when she says my love for you, she looks at all three of you.
Duty Ken is going to step forward and take out a page of their sketchbook that has been rained on to the point where whatever they've drawn on it is not visible anymore. Like the water has seeped the ink into the pages. And she tears it out and offers it out to Dara, just like, sometimes it frustrates me when a good storm upsets what I've planned. But I never let it upset me too much because I know somewhere it's just you causing a bit of mischief. Don't let me plan things too well, okay?
We'll always throw a wrench into your plans, any day. And she takes the drawing. And I think she turns back to Cesar one last time. And she grabs your hand, Cesar, and says, survive. Brighter days come.
Yes.
And I will wait for you on the other side.
I will take care of them.
Good.
I love you.
I love you too. As the rain always returns to the sea, I will return to you.
I know.
And I think Dara disappears with the storm.
I'm gonna mute myself as I scream for a moment.
I think as the rain lightens, people around them start to kind of emerge. It's obviously still war times, things are not good, but there's a lightening of the mood for everyone except Mina. I think for the first time ever, like, watches the rain go and is saddened by it. And I don't know if she has this. I'm gonna give it to her right now. And as soon as the sky is clear, there's just fireworks, like out of nowhere fireworks, and everyone in the square is sort of like, for an instant, there's like, what's happening? Wait, what's going on? But then it's just like joy, and everyone comes out to see these fireworks. And I think she goes. There's not an official goodbye, but there is a sense to both Diriken and Cesar, like, you have to hold on until they get back, and then leaves.
I think when Mina leaves, Cesar looks back at Dirtykin and is like, I will shoulder what I can for you. Yes.
I think of all of us, you have the most to shoulder right now, and it's about time that I got back to what I'm supposed to do. Would you like to to come back with me.
Let's go together.
And I think our scene ends there. We have one more scene to do. Are folks good to keep going? Do you want to take a break? Okay. We're good to keep going then. Our final scene of the night. I'm not going to roll a d10 this time. I'm actually going to pick which one we're going with. And reading the list, I personally really like the sound of number 7, a story.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is modern day. Where are we?
I kind of want to put them back in Greece just so we can have that full circle thing. I don't know a whole lot about Greece. I mean, obviously I don't know about Greece, period. So just, I don't know, like a mall, a library, a Grecian library.
We would say a mall because what
I was going to say a mall, and I was like, no, Izzy, come on. It's Sunday. We're in a pandemic.
It could be a beach.
Yes.
Also a beach.
beach.
Right against the ocean.
I'm digging it.
So, we're on a beach in Greece, the modern age. I'm assuming there are a lot of folks around who are enjoying their beach, enjoying their weekend, enjoying the sunlight and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like to start the scene?
Did everyone get to do one?
Besides
Did you
myself,
do RK? Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Dara is on the beach, no longer wearing the sari that they had worn briefly before. Worn technically for the past 80 years or so. And it's raining. People are starting to clear away from the beach, but Dara has just arrived, set up an umbrella, a few towels, and is waiting.
I think Mina is also on the beach, but maybe a ways from Dara currently. It can probably sense them there and is heading sort of like unintentionally in that direction. And as she goes, there's like some kids playing in the water. One kid is significantly smaller than the others and like can't go as deep and is like crying for their friends to come back and like hang out. And she starts to move toward them to like, move like shepherd all the kids together and make them be happy, and then sort of stops for a second and just watches. And as she watches, she sees like this other kid come along, talk to the first kid who's sort of been left out. They start laughing and, I don't know, share an ice cream cone or something. Do kids eat ice cream?
Build sandcastles.
Sandcastles are good. Sandcastles, ice cream, all that beach stuff. And everything sort of settles, and she watches them for a second, smiles and nods to herself, and then turns, and as she turns, sees Dada, and is visibly excited, and then like reins it in. She's like, well, rain on the beach. Who would have guessed?
Figured this was a nice place to meet. Although
Nicer.
I
Sorry.
have seen that there are no chickens here, so
I'm sure we can rectify that problem. How have you been?
It's been hard, but it's done. At least for now.
Are you still so not eager to accept my help?
You wouldn't have found me if I didn't want your help. How many times have you broken up a storm?
It's a little more difficult every time, I can say. I've come to love the rain in its absence. I will give you this, then. Next time a sacrifice needs to be made, know that there are 3 others who would go in your place. Perhaps without the fanfare, and certainly without the return, but I'd say we could match perhaps half of your passion.
I think Dada hands up like a drink and invites you to sit with her.
They will.
How have you been?
Things have grown better in some ways, worse in others. The others miss you, and it's hard. But interestingly, I've learned quite a bit about myself without you around. For example, the chaos that you bring, it isn't always as negative as I thought. As you've mentioned, passion is a facet of who you are, but who I am as well, and I hadn't known that until you left. Things were gray. Not in the way that Cesar sees them, but gray, flat, muted. Different. Almost as if the world had lost its color when you left. And yet, we were able to find ways to bring splashes of you back. There were storms here and there, nothing like what you did. But I learned peace is not always the same as goodness or love. And I suppose I have you to thank for that, however reluctant I may be.
I think Dara has a moment where she's like, maybe I'll take this as genuinely good, or maybe I'll be a little bit of a jerk. And then she chooses to be a little bit of a jerk and says, okay, then say it.
I suppose I have missed you. I am glad to have you back. If you must know.
I was hoping you'd also say thank you. She's absolutely smiling this entire time.
I think Mina rolls her eyes, starts to say thank you, and then, if it's okay, leans over and gives Dada a kiss on the cheek. You are insufferable. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I think that Dara then looks out, waiting for the others to arrive.
Duty Ken has been more in the city and inside, but when this particular storm starts, she knows that it's not like the other storms that have been happening recently, and so fades out of the space that he was in and then fades back in right close to where they are so that she can approach and immediately like sits down and hands Dara their sketchbook and just says, "You've missed a lot, but I kept a record for you in case you wanted to see all the things that might have happened. I circled the ones that did."
Dada takes the images and looks over them. And points out certain ones where she'd like to be drawn a little bit cuter.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's been a while. I haven't seen your face in so long. I had to start making up new details. In this one, I gave you different color hairpins.
Well, now you have me for as long as you wish.
And then the last thing, like they take the sketchbook back and they're holding on to something to show when everyone's here.
Mhm.
I think that when the rain set in, I think Cesar has been this mix of like hopeful and downtrodden. Like he's been very tired these past few decades, but trying his best. And so I think he's walking in the rain, and then he takes a look out and sees the three of you gathered, and you see him tearing down the beach, just kicking up sand behind him. And I think he just almost like throws himself down, and he's just like, "Hi."
Dada definitely giggles when they see that. They say, "Hi, it's been a while."
Mm-hmm. It definitely has been. But you still look as lovely as ever.
And you look less gaunt than before. Good. I like seeing you looking healthy and happy.
You know how I said that I would take care of them? Mina and Durikin were much more taking care of me.
I figured.
It was a two-way street.
Not for me. I give and I give and I give. This is a lie.
Come, sit. Have drinks.
I think he sits down and tries to sit like as close to Dara as he can. He just sort of like puts his head on Dara's shoulder, if that's okay.
I think Dara, if it's okay, will pull you into Dara's lap.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally okay.
Okay, so since Cesar is in Dara's lap, I think then also sitting next to Mina. And Mina takes a second and looks over and lays a hand on Cesar's hand. I want to apologize. You must know I've seen you as sort of a younger sibling for all of these centuries. And to be the one suddenly in need of advice, of guidance, is admittedly not easy for me. But you were right. For as much as you say that you were being taken care of these years, you were a daily reminder that good can come from loss. And that the kind of help I have brought in the past is perhaps not always needed, nor the most efficient. I don't think I would have made it here today without whatever you've taught me. And for that, I love you.
I love you too. Durgan, when you draw me, can you show how big my ego is right now?
Yeah.
There's no possible way it could fit in your sketchbook.
No, I have a different one, and they'll manifest like one of those like really big newsprint sketchbooks that's like 3 feet by 2 feet. Is this enough, or should I go get one of those Michelangelo canvases?
This
Perhaps
might come
the
close.
beach?
I hear there's a chapel with a ceiling that could use my visage.
I will see about that.
Pretty Ken.
Hmm.
I think Dara like looks over at you and says, "You know we love you too, right?"
Oh yeah, I love you a lot, all of you. Sometimes my life feels a little scattered because of all the things that I see and don't want and want to happen, but it always feels like home when we are all here. And I get to see all of you.
It all happens at once for you, doesn't it? Everything with us?
Yeah.
I think Dara looks at you and says, "Well then, tell me this isn't the last time, right?"
No. And Duriken finally turns to like the last page of their sketchbook that is like, it is the last page. Like whenever her sketchbook runs out of space, she just adds new pages. But this is like the last page. And most of Zir work is like sketches, but this is like a fully painted piece. And there's no like set location. It's just the four of them with Dara and Cesar in the middle, and like Cesar's head is on Dara's shoulder, and then each of them is respectively holding hands with Mina and Duty Ken on the other sides, and they're just staring into the sunset without a specified location. It's not the last time.
And I think we now answer our final questions. You have been together for eons, finding the small moments you were able to steal away from the watchful eyes of the powers that be. But something has changed. Perhaps someone spotted you, or something gave it away. Perhaps duty calls, or it's the end of all days. There are three things that you know. You love each other. The powers that be most definitely wouldn't approve of your relationship. And there is only one place that it is safe to meet. Earth. And our final question of the game is, do you choose to stay together against all odds?
I was gonna like make a joke and be like, no, fuck you, but I'm like way too emotional to do that. I'm like in tears right now, guys.
It's been like 2 hours. I'm why
oh my god, Rue, that last bit was so good.
And
Yes.
I think what we see is a series of paintings as the camera focuses in on that last page in the sketchbook, and instead of being paintings, they become real scenes. Except the scenery changes and what's happening changes, except the four of us. We might physically change what we're wearing, how gaunt we are, whether we're scarred or not in our new forms. The world changes around us, but the four of us are always together until it fades away, and all we see are the four of us sitting together on the beach in sunlight and storm. Thank you all for coming to Pride Brunchathon. This has been Heaven Nor Hell by Kiana Shaw. This is an event that we're running for the entirety of June, Pride Month, every weekend at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be 2 p.m. this coming Saturday and this coming Sunday. We will have Pride games going. And yeah, we're raising money for Black and Pink, which is an organization that does amazing work within the community, working to help LGBTQIA2S plus people and working to help people who have HIV and AIDS and are dealing with the police system, the punishment system, and a lot of the ways that America's kind of messed up. Um, and they're a great organization, so make sure to donate to them. And we have the Tiltify link, which is right in chat. I'm sure you can get access to it. And it is so good. It is such a good organization. Currently, we are at $205.69. Nice. And our most recent donation was $4.20. So nice. That all being said, we hope you had a great time. Let's go around and give ourselves some outros. Tell people where they can find you on the internet. Tell people what you're doing, all that good stuff. Who would like to go first? Never mind, I'm picking someone since you're all indecisive. Vale, you go.
What's funny was I was about to just launch into it.
Turn the tables.
So hi guys, once again I'm Vale. I use he and they pronouns. I am part of a podcast called Forgotten Eras, in which I'm playing Interstitial and Monster of the Week because I love doing stuff. That podcast will be doing their own charity stream, I believe at different hours, from our Brunchathon on the 26th. So definitely tune in to that. I'm also playing on Arvin Elrond's channel with Brandon O'Brien. And where we are playing Sound Clash. That will be 2 weeks from today at 6 o'clock Eastern. And we're an all BIMPOC crew on that. So definitely tune in, watch us. We're having a lot of fun. I'm a punk rock mom fighting against community policing and the music industry. So tune in.
All right. Since you're unmuted, I'm picking Rue.
Oh. Hi, I'm Rue. I use they or he pronouns. You can find me on Twitter as @IlanaKnight13. Other than this, I run a all BIMPOC Monster Hearts campaign on Friends Who Roll Dice. That's every other Saturday. And I also will be starting a Vampire the Masquerade game where I play a circus goth next Sunday. Yeah, that's what I do.
Izzy?
Hello, I'm Izzy. She, they. You can find me on Twitter, Z_MYST, mist with a Y, as in yellow and other Y words. And I am good at talking. And because of that reason, I am also on a podcast, premieres Wednesdays. You can find us at Pod versus Machine on Twitter. We're a Pathfinder podcast. And then a couple other summer projects. There's a Utopia one that is will be on Saturdays, and then some other things that I haven't written down yet because I don't have my calendar in front of me. And now what I'm doing is rambling because I get really anxious and forget all the things. So I'm going to stop talking, go ahead and mute myself. Thank you so much. This was really fun.
Hi, everyone. I'm RK Wild. I do a lot of things in the space. You can find me on Twitter at RussWildest. I am the GM for Prison Pals, which is an all-ages LGBTQ plus podcast, which is currently on hiatus, but we do have all of Volume 1 to listen to if you are interested. I just started with a new podcast called Fear in Living Color, which is a all QTPOC horror AP anthology. which we actually started casting for volume 1. I think we just announced that on Friday. Applications just went up. So if you're interested, you can find that on my Twitter or on that podcast Twitter at Fear in the Living Pod, which is a horrifying name if you think about it. Besides that, I helped organize this event. This is Utopia's Pride Brunchathon. Once again, we are raising money for a good cause, Black and Pink, and we will be back this coming Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a game called Candied Violets by Rue, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. No.
Not me.
Sorry. Someone else. I'm sorry. I don't remember the name right now. My brain is not working.
Oh, a different
The
Rue.
other Rue. I was
it is
right.
a Rue.
It's the other Rue. Great. But yes, that is a game that is inspired by Great British Bake Off and a bunch of other games. It's run by Utopia's very own Mo, and it's going to be a great time. Yeah, I believe that we will be rating Rivals. So if you want to hop on over to Rivals and just let them know who we sent you and what you're doing there. Is there a raid shout for Utopia? I don't remember. I have a brain the size of a peanut. Yeah, I think we're good to go then. Oh no, we're sending Lev to someone else. Pikachu Lita, who's playing Monster Prom.
Cool.
I was wrong. My bad. Yeah, so we're heading over.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.